Yes, Ajay, Abhi, university level question papers. This is a. Who has prepared this question? College? This model question paper, Ashish, which you sent me right now.
Yes, sir. What is it?
Ashish, can you send it on the group again? This one, I think I lost track of it.
The question papers, who has prepared, Ashish? This one. The 50 questions we are dealing with now, right now.
So those are sample questions which have come from the university. I think some college had it,
Oh, okay. If the
which is sample.
university, if the university has done pretty good, yeah, I think you will know all the answers. You will pass with the flying colors. Hun- hun-
Yes,
hun- 100 out
yes.
of 100 you all score. Huh?
So, but of course, it's
I
just an.
think the university has also said that they will supply the question papers. The exam needs to be set from those question papers only, and it was something
Okay.
100 or something like that.
Then please go through the questions which we have done are 100% correct
But
questions.
are these the same questions? Or that's the question.
I don't know.
Ah,
Are you referring to that circular which came recently? It was all in Marathi, and I really didn't get it, Sachin. You'll have to
Right, no, yes, yeah, I'm referring to that circle only because I read it in Marathi. So it said that the university will circular a question bank.
now
I saw that in the question bank, huh?
now let
University
us
circular
make
a
the
question
university
bank, and the
happy.
colleges are supposed to
Okay.
incorporate from that question bank only.
Now
Okay, okay.
let us make the university happy by dealing with the university question paper starting from the year 2016. I got question paper with me.
So can I
Uh,
interrupt, sir?
yeah, please.
Yeah, because the contention of the university was the different colleges will set different kind of questions, and then the level of questions will differ. Some colleges might have a lenient question, and some colleges might have a tougher question. So that's why the university had said that we will provide the question bank, and you need to select questions from that question bank only. So the
Pretty
level
good.
of questioning
These are good, but
same.
they are yes. The earlier questions, there are a lot of problems have been asked. There are, of course, here this questionnaire contains both the illustrations also as well as objective type question mostly. You want me to take up the other university question papers or not?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Please, we'll begin from the year 9 November 2016. I got. Just open
Ashish, can you forward
Ashish.
on the group?
Yeah, can you
Ashish,
share
open.
on the group, Ashish?
You are
Ashish,
having this question
share up
papers.
group na Ashish.
Shall I forward on the group? On the
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, that would be good.
Ashish has got it. I think I'll
Yeah,
take
so it's already on the group, sir.
already on the group. Yeah, please go through that. Now open this question paper, November 2016, Law of Evidence. Yeah, देखिए answer.
Ashish, can you mark that paper, please? We're not
I
able to
can't
find
seem
it.
to find it either.
Yeah, can you just mark it? Like I think you have sent it long back.
No, no, it was sent today. I think they are in the photo format. Yeah, it is in a photo format.
Someone who can just put a reference of here or something so that we just note.
Today only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Sorry,
it
sir.
being, yeah, can we commence our lecture? बताओ, when to commence बता दीजिए. I'm ready.
No problem, sir. You continue, sir. We'll.
Yes. Yeah. Start now. Yeah. Yeah. Question number 1. That is very short. It is. I think we don't have to refer to all again. CP Evidence Act. I will give the sections, and if need be, we can go through again. Okay. Now, what is fact is given in section 3, interpretation clause. See, the question is, what is fact? Isn't it? Do you want me to again repeat what is a fact? That is the definition is fact is mean include anything, state of thing, relation of thing, capable of being perceived by senses, any mental condition of which any person is conscious. There are illustration 4, A, B, C, D. Please go through. That is a man. There are certain objects arranged in a particular order. Then the man heard something that is coming from 114 of the Evidence Act. Second illustration from section 60, that a man said something somewhat against 60, that the man holds certain opinion as a intention and good, that is section 45. All these are involved. So that a man has certain reputation as a fact, that is section 53, 55 of the Evidence Act. That, of course, they may not ask you all this to elaborate, but I am elaborating you for the purpose of your information. So section 3 is the answer. Then what is the leading question? Section 141. Section 141 बताया आपको मैं. The question suggesting answer is not permitted in examination chief. When you open section 141, it says that here, any leading question suggesting answer which the person putting it wishes to expect to receive is called a leading question. When leading question may not be asked is 142. That is not relevant here. So I won't say that. Then on whom the burden of proof lies. That is section 101. The person who asserts a particular fact, he has to prove it. Section 101. Abhi to padhe humne. I won't again read it. Now, which fact need not be proved? Section 56 to 58. We read it again. Again, we won't read it. Which fact need not be proved? Mean judicially admitted fact. Fact need not be proved. Where the fact the court can take cognizance. Judicial and admitted fact need not be proved. Then presumption as to electronic messages. That is section 88A. Yeah, this we are not seeing. Presumption as to electronic messages, section 88A. Yeah. There's a new section after the Information Technology Act. The court may presume that electronic message forwarded by the originator through an electronic mail server or address to whom the message purports to be received, purpose to be addressed, corresponds with the message as fed into the computer for transmission, but the court shall make any presumption as to the person who made such a message was sent. Explanation: for the purpose of the section, expression addressee and originator shall have the same meaning assigned under the provisions of the Information Technology Act. So section 65B tells you how you lead the evidence is a part. Electronic message presumption arises like a 90-year-old document. Presumption arises. Yes. F. Which fact can be proved by oral evidence? That is section 59. Section 59 tells you which facts can be proved. All facts except the contents of a document and electronic record. See, section 59. Remember this. Remembering is very important. 59. Proof of fact by section 50. Which fact can be proved by oral evidence?
So, any tips you can share for remembering, sir?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Remembering is just you have to keep on going to the act. See, 59 tells you all fact except the contents of documents or electron record may be proved by oral evidence. Oral evidence यहाँ पे दिया गया है. And section 60 speaks of oral evidence must be direct, mean the person must step into the box. So 59 tell you what are the evidence which can be you are allowed to lead with regard to the oral evidence. Contents of a document cannot be proved by oral evidence unless the embargo under section 92 exception we gave you right now, isn't it? On electronic evidence, you have to bring the document itself before the court. Yes. Then rules as to notice to produce. That is section 163. Na? Abhi padhe humne. Under 163, when you open 163, now during the course, when the witness is in the box, while cross-examining him, he gives some evidence with regard to certain documents, or you want to prove his financial status, you may give notice to him. You are hereby called upon to produce. Maybe an issue before the court of law that if he is a tenant, no hardship will be caused to him if he is ordered to be evicted, because the landlord requires the premises reasonably and bona fide for his own use and occupation, and the landlord's family is very huge, and the tenant is a rich man and has a small family. So you can give a notice to the tenant here in cross-examination, or even earlier they do. You are hereby called upon to produce all your financial status, income tax return, wealth tax returns, how many cars you have got, how many properties you have got. So ये notice का provision 163 में. And if he doesn't bring the notice देने के बाद document में, the court can draw adverse inferences under 114G पढ़ चुके हैं हमने. That is the policy.
So what if a person doesn't have anything?
If he doesn't have anything, then he can say, I don't have anything. He can
But
give
how
it.
he will prove
But
it,
if
sir?
if the other side comes to know you have got many things, you will be in trouble. And whatever, suppose certain properties, a man may be having a flat in Kolaban, Dubai, and other Bangalore, and if he suppresses from the court, that is, court will draw adverse inference against him. He will lose the case. So
Yes.
that is why and during the examination chief or cross-examination evidence period, other side cannot be taken by surprise, and you should disclose all your document. That is why under the Code of Civil Procedure, section order 11, order 12, 13 tells you file affidavit of document, file your interrogatories, answer to the interrogatories. Affidavit of document is given in a separate list containing in the schedule A, B, C, D. All these documents, even the plain mandates that here under Order 7, Rule 14, plaintiff must disclose all the document. Non-disclosure of any document will not be helpful to you. You will not be permitted to lead evidence tomorrow. Similarly, a defendant under obligation to disclose all the document under the provisions of Order 8, Rule 1A CPC. Similarly, in criminal prosecution also, the provisions of Section 273 onwards mandate that here investigation, inquiry, trial, prosecution as well as the defense must disclose the documents and take up a respective defensive whether they are admissible or not admissible here, either in session trial or a trial before a magistrate in warrant cases, otherwise in torrent cases or in summon cases, whichever trial is held. So transparency must be must here. That is the reason Evidence Act can there by way of abundant caution. Though the CPC and CRPC contain such provision, and Evidence Act also at this stage of the final stage of cross-examination, when the witness talks of many things, many documents, you can tell you are making this statement. Are you supported by anything? Yes, I got so and so document. Can you please produce it? Yes. Next time, पूछिए document लाए क्या? नहीं लाए क्या? And give a special notice to him under 163. If he doesn't bring it, then you can draw adverse inference under section 114 clause G that the document deliberately is not producing because that will go against him. And put a suggestion to him in the court. I put it to you that you are deliberately not producing the document as mentioned in the notice because those documents will go against you. ये डालना पड़ेगा. Then only you are an effective cross-examiner. If you have not put this, you cannot tell the court, draw inference against me. ये डालिए आप. You must ask him first. I gave you notice to you. Please, your attention is drawn to. Have you brought the documents? When can you bring it? I cannot bring it, bolega. The reason why you are not bringing it because you know the documents will go against you. You yourself, under the RTI, can make application, find out from his income tax department here and there to produce it. In case, for example, you cannot do that, you invoke your provisions of section 162, issue production, summons to the department to produce the document. They need not be the witnesses. Then let the document come. Then you make an application to the court on the basis of the documents which are recovered under section 162 from the production witness. And I would like to cross-examine this man. Make an application for further cross-examination. You can impeach his credibility under the provisions of section 146 and 155 by pointing out and tarnishing his reputation by holding him that you are an unreliable witness. समझे ना? वो आएगा सब पॉइंट के अंदर when you open section 155 उसके अंदर मिलेगा आपको what kind of evidence you can lead before the court of law to impeach the credit of a witness. यहाँ पे आएगा. Okay? इसका आंसर उतना होता है लेकिन your short answer, but this is to understand the entire meaning of it. Yeah.
So there is a question on the group, sir, that the book that we shared all this from the documents, the question papers you shared, What is that book and where can the students buy it from?
The book, actually, my daughter has brought it here.
I think so it's
From
past
student,
papers of Aarti, no?
from the Aarti book depot, Aarti and Company say. Question
Yes.
paper.
Where is that, sir?
Yeah. This is the question paper. This is the question paper, see?
Yeah.
From the
Sunita,
Aarti.
you get this.
All university question papers are there. Some student have, in fact, my daughter, who is a solicitor, she has got help in getting this paper. Okay?
Only Aarti book depot or any other depot, sir?
Pardon?
Aarti books, you get it in with various bookstores, Sunita. Like you get one
You should be.
questions or you get one with question and solution, but that solution is useless. So it's good to get a question book.
Okay. Thanks.
See, I have given to Ashish this question paper, relevant question paper, 6-7 question paper, and I will request Ashish to put up on the group.
It's already on the group, sir.
Already,
it's there
please. Yes.
It's on the group.
Yes.
But they were interested, sir, because for other subjects also they were thinking that they could
Correct.
Yeah, other subject ke liye, I don't mind sparing my copy for you all.
Please, sir.
If somebody is living in Bandra area, please collect.
I'll pick up, sir. I'm saying it early.
Sir,
I'm saying it early.
Anybody
Sir,
wants
this is
to
all-in-one book, right?
anybody who wants to come to Bandra, I live near Carter Road, and I can give you.
That's nice. Sir.
So,
Okay.
I'll come.
Yeah, but come nahi khali leke, then make the scan and put it in the
Of
group.
course,
leke
of course.
jaiye.
Yeah, Sunita.
Ashish will do that.
Yes. Next question, लीजिए. Define relevant. That is relevant का definition section 3 के अंदर मिल जाएगा आपको. Of the Evidence Act itself. See, relevant दिया ना. One fact is said to be relevant to another when the one is connected with the other in any of the ways referred to in this act. So, where it is referred? Referred between section 5 and 55. Or relevant fact, section 5 tells you evidence should be led with regard to fact in issue and relevant fact. All relevant facts are discussed from 6 से लेकर 1955. Okay, 6 res geste evidence, section 7 cause and effect, tape recording evidence, section 8 motive, preparation, conduct, section 9 with regard to identity of a person, explanation, section 10 with regard to conspiracy evidence, section 11 facts which otherwise cannot be proved can be proved, section 12 where evidence can be led for proving customs and usages. Isn't it? We all learned all this, isn't it? So that you should, I think it become memorized without even looking at it. So I am able to remember because I am teaching you. It has gone in my head. Yes. Section ho gaya, relevant ho gaya. Then what is a dying declaration? Section 32. A dying declaration is a statement of a person dying, showing the cause of his death. That must be the Evidence Act has not defined it here. Can anybody help me going to the provisions of General Clauses Act? Ashish, dekho zara aage. Dying declaration definition check karo aap.
Yes, sir.
See the General Clauses Act or Google पे check कर लें. Anybody can check it up. I will also try and check from my dying declaration.
Sir, I have the General Clauses Act open with me, but while doing a search for dying
Does it give the definition of just
No, sir. I don't think it does.
No, sir.
So
It's not.
it sends you back to
kindly see the Google में मार के देखिए.
so 32(1) of Evidence Act पे भेजता है. It sends you back to the Indian Evidence Act section 32.
Yes, sir.
32(1) में है वो.
Yes, sir.
Sir, कहीं और definition नहीं मिल रहा है.
No, definition itself is not given. Section 32. Let me see again. I will go through. What does the Supreme Court say? देखेंगे. Dying declaration meaning of see. यहाँ पे इसमें नहीं है. Some judgment is there. Dying declaration is a statement of a person as to cause of his death or as to any of the transaction resulting in his death. It becomes relevant under 32(1) of the Evidence Act. It is an exception that the rule of hearsay. Yes. So whenever a question is asked to you with regard to dying declaration, make it a criminal matter only, because 32(1) applies to only criminal cases. That means dying declaration is a statement of a person with regard to cause of his death. That is, he himself makes a statement either to the doctor or nurse in the hospital. No, I died because of A reason, B reason. That is after when the accident is committed, when it's about to die, just before dying. The second one covers a case that is the circumstances resulting in his death. That he must have told his wife that tomorrow morning I am going to have dinner with the person, with the defendant with whom we have litigation. We are trying to explore settlement. I'll go for dinner and come. So where is he going? The wife knows that. He has called me for settlement. Meeting we are holding. So next day his dead body is found. So whatever he had said and where is he going to the wife is a statement. Similarly, a girl who is ravished makes a statement to the her mother, brother, sister, family members that how she was ravished, circumstances leading, and she was also given certain poison, and these all circumstances leading to her death. So those statements come under 32(1). 32(1). So dying declaration का मतलब यही है, but that you have to read the provisions of section 32, 32(1). Have to understand it. Yeah. So dying declaration is a statement of a person with regard to his death or the circumstances leading to his death. 32(1). Opinion of expert, that is under section 45 of the Evidence Act. When you open, opinion of expert is given. There are many sections with regard to opinion. They are commencing from section 45 onwards. Opinion expressed in the books भी होता है. Opinion of expert, DNA expert का opinion भी होता है. You know, then medical expert opinion होता है. Handwriting expert is also opinion expert in the matter. Then the chemical analysis expert also is an expert here. Then fingerprint expert is also an expert here. That evidence commences from section 45 onwards. Opinion of experts, that is opinion of third persons when relevant. Sometimes the examiner will very differently ask this question. Instead of opinion of expert, you say opinion of third person. So these third persons are nobody but the experts, expert third parties who give the evidence. Even for proving a custom, the experts can come and give evidence. That we learned it here. So section 45, देख लीजिए आप. Then refreshing memory. Next item number A. 2A में refreshing memory comes under section 159 of the Evidence Act. While a witness is in the box, you may ask a question to the witness. The question may depose that suppose the cases are filed in the court 10 years, 15 years ago. They come for recording evidence after a long time. A witness may sometimes forget from what he has said. So he may be allowed to refresh his memory. The cross-examiner or an examination chief also, if a witness says that because whatever you have stated in the plaint is not sufficient, you just cannot say that here, I mentioned in this plaint, I signed it, okay. The cross-examiner will ask you one day, in which paragraph you have mentioned this fact that the defendant has not discharged the liability. Then your witness may say that I will have to see the papers. So you can invite the attention of the court to section 159 for refreshing the memory. You may tell the court, my lord, the witness is a litigation is coming up for evidence after a long time. It is not humanly possible to remember. So I am therefore invoking your lordship power under section 159. It says that here, a witness may under examination refresh his memory by referring to any writing made by him at the time of the transaction concerning which he is in question, or soon afterwards, that the court consider likely that the transaction was at the time fresh in his memory. The witness may also refer to any such writing made by any other person and read by the witness within the aforesaid if when he knew it to be correct. So under section 90 of the Evidence Act, you are permitted to bring before the court of law documents which are a 30-year-old document. It may be of your grandfather's will, grandfather's passport. Somebody will ask you, in which year your grandfather was born. Then I will have to see the passport. So you may request the court, I may be allowed to refresh my memory seeing the passport. Then certain questions may come up in the will under the residue. How many people are given? Are there any beneficiaries who are entitled to be given? No, I will have to see it. So those documents you will be entitled to see from the court by requesting the court that you may be allowed to refresh your memory. Both the plaintiff and defendant, all witnesses, either in examination chief or cross-examination, can invoke this. Section 159 is a very important section for refreshing memory. No other side cannot take up the plea that you have no right to see the document. That is wrong. Boliye.
So section 159 can be used to manipulate by leading the witness, na sir, because you know that he's saying something and document mein dikha ke you can get it. You can get a particular statement out of him. With a skilled lawyer, it is possible, no sir?
See, when the document is produced by the witness, he is bound to know about it. Sometimes document is very bulky and there is no problem in showing him. You may cross-examine him to show that. You may put your suggestion. I put it to you that your interpretation as regards the document is not correct. There is no such is mentioned. In the document doesn't speak of itself. You are claiming damages in the notice. The notice may you have only sought termination. You have not sought damages. Can you please tell the honorable court where have you sought? So with your skillful advocacy, you can catch hold of you can pick up the holes in the madly drafted notice. Sometimes it happens, even advocate make mistake, parties give wrong instruction, and sometimes it is not mentioned correctly. So it's a skillful searching cross-examination can do the witness damage. समझे ना आप? Searching cross-examination.
So, but then the opposing counsel will not say leading question. He will not.
No, leading questions are only prohibited under section 141 in examination chief. समझे ना आप?
Okay.
But you are only entitled to, you are only allowed to see the document only for the purpose to recollect, refresh your memory, to find out the relevant date of your grandfather's death or the date of the transaction. You may take up the plea, the time was the essence of a contract. It was mentioned in paragraph of the petition. I would like to see refresh my memory, the paragraph. Only you have to see that. You may read the entire document. There is no bar. You have to find it out, check it out. You are not
Sir, I
supposed
have a
to.
question, sir.
Yes.
Would provoking a witness to answer something, but you don't know the answer, what he would say, would that also count as a leading question? Because
No, you are not entitled to provoke the witness under the law. No, there is
no, but like sometimes advocates do that, right? Subtly provoke the
no. If
witness.
they have a right to slightly trouble the witness, but they cannot ask the witness indecent or scandalous question, which is barred under section 151 of the Evidence Act.
No, sir, I'm not talking about indecent questions. I'm just talking in general, sir. When they smartly phrase things and provoke the answer,
You may say
then
that a question even intending to insult the witness is not allowed. You cannot annoy the witness. That is 152 of the Evidence Act. The court shall forbid any question which appear to be intended to insult, annoy, or which, though proper itself, appear to the court needless, offensive. In the offensive form, the advocate should not adopt an overly aggressive stand. If that is so, the court has power to report him to the High Court under section 150. Please note that the advocates are responsible. They can be referred to Bar Council for adopting unscrupulous tactics. There is an ethics. If the question is asked, which must be relevant. Of course, the scope of the cross-examination is very wide. You do not have the license and liberty to annoy or insult, intimidate the witness. The same can be asked in a finer tone. There are many good cross-examiners. They take their job in a very decent manner and with honey dripping sweetness. There is no need to be aggressive. If you think the witness is going to get bullied, some people do that, which is not correct. इसीलिए when you are the lawyer for your witness, point out the provisions of section 151, 152, and 150 of the Evidence Act to the court that he should not be allowed to do so. And my friend's approach is very aggressive, annoying, insulting the witness. This is not permissible. And moreover, the question which is sought to be asked is not relevant. Your Lordship may kindly answer this question. It should be relevant. Yes, relevant question. At the same time, there is some decency how to ask this.
Sir, what if the question is relevant, but it offends the reputation of the witness?
Yes, you have a right to ask question destroying the reputation of a witness. That is called impeaching the credibility of a witness. Section 155 permits you that.
But so I just wanted to ask, this will not happen, of course for witness you can't, but nothing very personal about their life that you can ask, no? Or any kind of the way you have for sexual offenses, you cannot ask the victim questions like that. Nothing comes for a witness.
If that is an issue you can ask, of course.
Like an outraging modesty kind of question.
Yes, in outraging the modesty cases, in character evidence is when you take into consideration such questions are forbidden. But you can take up the plea that it was not a rape, it was an act of fornication. It was by consent. Those questions couldn't be asked. Formally also, you and the accused person have gone to several lodging places. Is it correct or not? You met them at his house or not? To show that consent part, the act is not overt act. It is not a rape. It is actually a fornication with the consent of each other. That kind of evidence, the question should be framed in a very, in such a manner, the witness is deceived.
Sir, can we have a small class of the subtle art of cross-examination from you?
वो बात में रखेंगे अभी पहले एग्जाम तो पास कर लीजिए आप. Surely moot court के अंदर करेंगे. I judge many moot courts I guided. Last month I was guiding a moot court of the Delhi college student, criminal cases, and I gave them hints how to conduct the cross examination, and it was an interesting program. Yes.
So can we get a recording of that, sir?
We'll have to ask the Delhi lawyer. I'll find out whether they have done it or not. It was 2 months ago. It was done in Delhi. I will check it out. I'll check it out. I'll ask them.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Take it. Next आ जाइए. Motive preparation when relevant. परसों को पढ़े हमने section 8 के अंदर. Isn't it? Motive, preparation and conduct. Previous conduct, good conduct is relevant. Section 8. Section 8 has about 11 illustration. पढ़ के जाइए आप बराबर. Please note them. Okay. Then what is oral evidence must be direct. That is section 60. हम लोग अभी पढ़े. We need not waste time. Oral evidence must be direct. A person who has seen it, he must come and depose. A person who heard it must come and depose. Ocular witness, a chashmadid gawah. Direct evidence, a person giving it here. Okay. Then conclusive evidence is section 4, isn't it? What is conclusive is decided by under the Act. There are 3 sections given. Section 42, judgment given by probate court, admiralty court, probate court, and matrimonial court, final decree. They are conclusive judgment. Then birth of a child, isn't it? Section 121. Abhi padhe humne, isn't it? After the separation takes place between the parents and the wife, within what period? That conclusive evidence is under section 121. Is 112, sorry. Birth during marriage, conclusive proof of legitimacy. Then proof of cessation of territory. This should be deleted according to me. Ab territory cessation kya hai? This was during the British period. When the State Reorganization Act was there. All the Rajas and Maharajas have amalgamated and joined a treaty in India. With India, isn't it? Even Jammu and Kashmir has become part of India now. So section 113 is redundant. But it is जो राजा महाराजा जो agreement बनाए थे with the Union of India, that is a State Reorganization Act with the agreement. So they are conclusive. That is okay, fine enough.
What are you saying, sir? Jammu and Kashmir was always part of India.
Kashmir is now part of India. Now the amalgam, whatever reason, it is now part of India. Formerly, it was under the Rajas and Maharajas.
Yes, sir.
Abhi nahi. Maharaja ka zamana gaya abhi.
So, but it was under the Mughal emperor before that, sir.
That is so many people. The Mughals were there. They were Hindu Rajas were there. The Britishers came, and everybody they came with the intention of conquering and ruling. They succeeded. They used to call India as a Sune ki chidiya. You know, India was the richest country in those days. During the Mughal rule, I was
Mughal
told,
rule, yes, sir.
the per capita income of India was 27%. That time, India was the richest country. Isn't it? That is what you see that.
Yes, sir. So why did we become poor, sir? Or why are we still poor 50 years after, 70 years after independence?
We will again come back. Don't worry. We'll have patience. We might become the richest people of the country. Provided we all work hard and do that. Yeah. Next, take a question. Admissibility of electronic records. Admissibility of 65B, na? Yeah. Abhi to padhe humne. Admissibility of electronic record. Your answer is section 65B. Isn't it? Here both primary and secondary evidence is laid under section 65B with regard to electronic records. That cases I have dealt with. Which was the last case we dealt with? The Constitution Bench judgment of led by Justice Nariman.
Jain diary, sir. Jain diaries.
Nahi baba, 65B ke upar. The Representation of People's Act matter, Bombay ka.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. What is the gentleman's name? Politician. We all are having short memory at the moment. Okay. It's a beautiful judgment of Justice Nariman. Don't forget it.
Yes.
Yeah. Judges, next point. Judges' power to put questions or protection of document. That is section 165. Okay. 165 Kholo is very important section. The judges have a very wide discretion under the Evidence Act. See, whereas the parties and the advocates can only put questions on relevant facts in issue on relevant facts which are connected. Whereas the trial court, while conducting a trial, has got ample powers to put questions and also ask for protection of document which are relevant or irrelevant. Very wide. But his judgment should be based on only relevant fact. He has a collective, the learned judge has the discretion and power to collect full material. He will marshal the evidence correctly. He will sift the chaff from the grain. He will eliminate the bad part from the good part. Then ultimately his judgment will be a sound judgment based upon only relevant fact and relevant document. But see, the judge may, in order to discover or to obtain the proper proof of relevant fact, ask any question he pleases in any form at any time of any witnesses of the parties about any of the relevant or irrelevant, underline this word, irrelevant, and may order the protection of any document or thing, and neither the parties nor the agent shall be entitled to make any objection to any such question or order, or without the leave of the court, cross-examine any witness upon order so and so. So it is not open for the parties to challenge the judge. They may only request the judge, you please give us the certain parties you have invited to the court to give material, and the material supplied by them is detrimental to my client's interest, and I would like to cross-examine him. So the judge has a discretion to collect full material, good material, bad material, any other material. Okay? Yeah, that is
Yes, sir.
165. Nahi aa jaiye. Then solving of any two of the following will solve everything. Number one, A is on a trial for the murder of C. There is evidence to show that C was murdered by A and B. B said, A and I murdered C. What is the effect of this statement? Whether it can be used against A giving reason. Now, anybody remember this illustration कहाँ से मिलता है आपको? Section 30 में पढ़े ना हम लोग 30
Yes,
में
sir.
30 में illustration B. Here there is no joint trial. When there is no joint trial, he is an accomplice. A is in trial for C. There is evidence to show that C was murdered by A and B. A and I murdered. He is making a joint statement, but the trial is not joint here. So illustration 2 section 30 खोल लीजिए आप. See, they are giving, university prefers to give all illustration from here. See, section 30, देखिए, consideration of rude confession affecting a person making it on other jointly under trial for the same offense. Illustration A and B are jointly tried. Then consider the offense. Then B, A on his trial for the murder of C. Evident to show that C was murdered by A, B, and C. This statement is not to be taken. So please go through the illustration very carefully. Okay? Since A is not in a joint trial, whatever statement, he is an accomplice. Accomplice evidence is only good against the other co-accused, provided there is a joint trial. If he is tried separately, it appears to be a separate trial. B check karo. A agrees in writing to sell A horse to B for rupees 1,000 or rupees 1,500. यहाँ पे amount is not clear. There is ambiguity. Whether evidence can be given to show which price was to be given? No. It is not sure which is 1,000, 1,000. This will be falling under the illustration to section 93. Ambiguity check karo. 93 check karo. 93. Section 93. Yeah. See, exclusion of evidence to explain or amend ambiguous document. वो illustration A में आता है इधर. A agrees in writing to sell B 1,000 rupees. 1,000 or 100. Evidence cannot be given to show price was given. Okay, because this evidence is ambiguous. It doesn't contain, hence will not be allowed to be read. So your answer is, please write down section 93, illustration A. Give reasons. He says the reason is that there is ambiguity here. The witness is not sure. The witness cannot take up inconsistent pleas or approbate and reprobate. I am not sure it is 1,000 or 1,500. So he has to be definite about the price. Yeah. C. A sues B for money due on a bond.
So what would have happened in that question if it had said between 1,000 and 1,500? Then also it's the same thing, no, sir?
Yeah, there is an ambiguity. It's not clear.
Even if a range is given.
See that the court will not be in a position to give a decree what should be the damages. The damages and mean profit the court may order depends upon what is the price which is agreed. The interest can be given on the principal provided that court knows what is the principal amount. It is like hitting in the dark, you know.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Then next question. A sues B for money due on bond. The execution of the bond is admitted, but B says it was obtained by fraud, which A denies. Interesting question. On whom the bond, on whom the burden proves? When there is admission taken place, A need not prove, B has to prove it. Why B? B says that it was induced by fraud. If he doesn't lead evidence, there will be decree against him. See that here, that is an illustration to section 102, burden of proof. 102 खोलिए. Section 102, illustration B. See, on whom the burden of lies, the burden of proof of a suit or proceeding lies. Then the same question as A sues B for land possession. नहीं. देखिए, B. A sues B for money due to one bond. The execution of bond is admitted, but B says it was obtained by fraud, which A denies. If no evidence were given on either side, A would succeed, as the bond is not disputed and fraud is not proved. Therefore, burden of proof is on B. Understood? Anybody want to ask any question on this?
So I didn't understand the.
So
He has to give proof of the fraud.
There is simple. I'll put it to you. See, you are a person. You are my friend. You gave me loan. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You gave me loan on a promissory note. Sanjana?
Okay.
1,000 rupees you gave me, which I agreed to return to you by next week. Sanjana?
Okay. Okay, sir.
I did not return. Then you give me a legal notice that you took the money of 1,000 on the promissory note. You promised to return within 1 week. What happened? I don't answer.
Okay, sir.
So I don't answer, मैं चुप रह गया. Or I will take up the plea. My signature is fraudulently taken. क्या बोले?
Your signature is fraudulently taken.
My fraudulently taken. So I don't dispute the fact that there is a bond. There is a signature, but it is
it's not
fraudulently
yours.
taken.
Yeah.
मुझे घर पे बुला के आपने विस्की पिला के साइन ले लिया मेरा. Isn't it? In inducement.
Yes, sir.
That is the clause. When tomorrow when you file a suit in the court against me, normally the burden under 101 is upon the plaintiff, you to lead evidence.
But in this case, you will have to
But
lead
in this
evidence.
case, you don't have to lead evidence because I am admitting the execution of the bond. But what I am saying, it's a fraudulent document, but I am not leading evidence about the fraud. So when I don't lead evidence about the fraud, then you get a decree against me.
What it?
That is how. That is the illustration. Section 102. Yeah, that is the meaning of it. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Then next, देखिए. Yeah. Answer question number 4. Answer any of the 4. Yeah. Explain in detail the provisions of law regarding statement by person who cannot be called as witness. This is under section 33. पढ़े ना आपने? 33 के अंदर सलमान खान का केस एविडेंस दिया ना आपको मैं illustration.
Yes, sir. You explained that case
Hawalda
in
died
great.
and when he is one of the person who cannot be called as witness. So 32, 33 के अंदर है. It applies to many people. Okay. Then what is primary, secondary evidence? How do you prove the same when secondary evidence can be given? This is right now dealt with section 62 deals with primary evidence. 63, 65 deal with secondary evidence. अभी पढ़े हमने. Okay, remember this. Primary evidence is document itself. 62 पढ़ के रहिए आप. Then exclusion of oral by documentary evidence. That is section 92. Huh? You are not permitted to lead oral evidence when there is a document. But there are certain circumstances. Section 92 पढ़ चुका आपने. That is called extrinsic evidence. Little lamba. I don't think this question will be asked to you because lengthy hai. But in a 1 or 2 point question, remember this. Under section 62, 92 provides for exclusion of oral evidence when there is a documents on record. But in cases of fraud and certain events contemplated under 92 subclause 2, 3, 4, 5, you are allowed to lead oral evidence. Okay. Then who may testify? Questions lawful in cross-examination as per section 146. Impeaching credit of a witness when allowed. Now, there are two types of question. Who can testify? That is section 118. Who can be the witness? Who are qualified to be witness? A child can be a witness. Dumb person can be a witness. Any person can be qualified. To section 118 check kar lo aap. Is the answer first question. Yeah, 118 tells you who can testify. All persons shall be competent to testify. So you cannot say you are a child below the 18 years, you cannot testify. I mean, you cannot be a witness. He can be. A child can be a witness. A person of old age, disease can be a witness. Huh? A lunatic can be a witness. A dumb person can be a witness. So these are various illustrations given. That is the first question answer. The second question, lawful in cross-examination as per section 146. So under section 146, you can impeach the credibility of a witness. Dekho aap, please open section 146. It's a very interesting section. You can prove that the witness is a total liar. I mean, veracity. A person may take up the plea that I am a doctor having passed on London, America degree, autopsy diya. You will come to know he is a quack. Huh? आपको मालूम है इसकी डिग्री बोगस है. So you can impeach him asking question about his credibility. Huh? Then you can ask question about him to discover what is in position life. पूछ
So
सकते हैं
please
आप.
give 2-3 sample questions, no sir.
So you may ask question to him, where did you do your MBBS? MBBS. For example, a person is a bogus lawyer. आपने law किधर किया? उससे पहले ये किधर किया? Training कहाँ से ली? These all questions can come to prove that the man is not worthy of it. Then you shake his credibility under section 146(3), injuring his character. He will take up the plea that I am a great man, I enjoying great reputation. Like in the defamation case and Delhi's case, MJ Akbar says, I enjoy complete reputation. That lady said, you have no reputation. The accused person. So in the cross-examination,
So that 65 D was a Jain Hawala case, sir.
yes, यहाँ पे देखो section
I remember, sir, you said.
146 subclause 3 check करो. 146 clause to shake the credit by injuring the character. Although the answer to such question might be directly, indirectly, criminate him or might expose him to also. So यहाँ पे even forfeiture. This is the potent weapon of a cross-examiner. A man who said that I am a great man of reputation, you can collect evidence against him and show that you are the most notorious person. Though character evidence is not permissible under the civil law, but when it comes to damages and a man posting in answer reply, you can reply to that. In reply, you are permitted to that here. When you open character evidence section 50, section 51, खोल लीजिए आप. In civil cases, character is irrelevant. except answer character appears to be factual issue. So there is an exception to 52. So under 52, there is exception taken place. Then in criminal cases, good character may be relevant character. Then see that here. Then evidence of character previous sexual experience is not relevant in certain cases. So you cannot ask a woman that you have habitually been sleeping with several people. That cannot be asked. That question. That questions are forbidden. Then previous bad character.
So how do you bring out the facts in front of courts if you cannot ask the forbidden questions?
Forbidden question can be asked in a different manner if it is only between you and her and not related to others. General question cannot be asked.
Okay.
But you may take up the plea that you have given consent to me. I brought you here with your own permission. And you joined because it was a celebration, either your birthday, my birthday. You may be having tape record conversation, phone conversation, which may have been illegally tapped. You can prove it. Then previous bad character, not relevant except in reply. So in reply, in the defamation Delhi case, the complainant took up the plea, I am a person with clean character. So in reply, she tarnished him, producing the vehement, voluminous evidence to prove that this man has indulged in such sexual behavior, outraging the modesty of several such trainees. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You are allowed to
So,
do that.
so when is character relevant and when it is not relevant, I'm always getting confused.
नहीं very easy, don't worry, हम बता देंगे. उसमें हर किसी में एक नक्ता चीनी, there is a full stop and comma, then you are actually allowed to use it in certain when the same is an issue. So section 146 permits you, and also section 155 also gives you right to impeach the credibility of a check section 155. 146(3) के अलावा 155 is one of the strong potent weapon of the cross examiner. The credit of a witness may be impeached in the following ways by the adversary, by the other side in cross examination, with the consent of the court, calling upon him. Number one, by the evidence of a person to testify that from their own knowledge witness believes him to be untrustworthy. So he showed before the court, he did his law MBBS from London, America. You can prove that his degree has been held to be bogus. University has given letter. So you are impeaching his credibility. He is not qualified to give opinion. He is not qualified to practice medicine or law. He is a quack. Such evidence must be collected by you before the trial starts. Asking your client. Then proof of the witness that has been bribed on so and so. The reason why you are coming and supporting in the election matter because you have been bribed. You know that so and so candidate was distributing notes. You play him the CD cassette. Look here, you are also found. In this cassette, you are there or not? Yes. You are also receiving a packet. Do you know that? Cross medalier. I put it to you that you have come to oblige him to give false evidence because you have been bribed by him. So evidence cannot be relied upon. So normally in election dispute matters under the Representation of People's Act, each rival candidate takes a videography, photography, now which is now admissible under section 65B. So you prove them. The reason he is coming to depose because he claims to be a party worker. In fact, he is a person who has received bribe. So he is a person of his evidence can be taken with a pinch of salt. Unreliable witness. It inspires no confidence before the court. वो बोल के आप उसको छुटकारा पाएंगे. Then 155(3) says proof of a former statement inconsistent with part of his evidence which is liable to be contradicted. So before a police officer, when he recorded statement under section 162, that man must have given a clean narration of fact. Yes, at the time of the commission of the crime, I was present. ये हुआ, छुरा मिला, ये देखा था सब कुछ. Then you got collected evidence to show that this man at the time of the commission of the crime, he was not in Bombay, he was in Dubai. He was elsewhere. You may ask question, what was the time? What were your duties? Whether you are doing a duty or doing your office, you are present the crime. So you can prove that before the court, taking up the plea, it's a his witness is unreliable. At the time of the commission, is not there. Contradict him. What was the clothes he was wearing? What was the thing? Timing? What are your timing of the office? Huh? If you have got details about his passport, you are a NRI, and you are a person, police puppet. All the time you are given such evidence in hundreds of other matters. Collect the evidence from the certified copies are available from the court. Huh? Such evidence can be used against him under Section 33 of the Evidence Act, right, with Section 155, subclause 3, for impeaching the credibility. Also under Section 145 of the Evidence Act on the uh, contradicting his statements, previous statement. Section 145 भी खोल लीजिए आप. Evidence, that is cross examination as to previous statement in writing. So you show him, point it out. In the statement before the police, you said it was 3 p.m. In the court of law, you say it was 7 p.m., which was correct. Then you may ask question, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Are you a habitual drink? Do you drink? Do you take hot drinks? ये बोलेगा yes पीता हूँ मैं. You may put question to him. Put here. At the time was moonlight or daylight? What was it hour? Was it dark or so and so? I put it to you that you have been drinking. You do not know. You are not in a position to know what happened. How many pecks you taken? So a person who had 5-6 pecks, what does he understand the nature of the act? So these are all vital cross-examination points, which the
Sir, but
cross-examination.
if you ask, say that were you drinking, then won't they say he's trying to insult my client?
No, that's not insulting. You are impeaching the credibility of finding out whether a reliable witness. The relevant question with regard to timing, suppose 8 p.m., 9 p.m., what were you doing? If you're a habitual drinker, the time normally शुरू करता drink. Isn't it? Before dinner, nobody drinks after dinner. So these are the questions. Next. Next question पे आ जाइए.
Sir,
Then
do the witnesses ever get angry where they say you asked me all these questions, you meet me outside the court?
let them get angry, but you are doing your job properly. So long as you are doing your job properly, why to worry? Next. What is estoppel? Explain the different types of estoppel. So estoppel is a representation which is explained to you under 115, 116, isn't it? वो पढ़ के जाइए आप. And different types of estoppel नहीं दिया उसके अंदर. Commentary पढ़ेंगे तो मिलेगा आपको. Different types of, estoppel by conduct, estoppel by negligence, estoppel by representation, estoppel by agreement. There is estoppel by acquiescence, estoppel by deed, estoppel by convention, estoppel by promissory estoppel. पढ़े ना आपने? The various cases में. There's they cannot be estoppel against a statue. Nobody can be told to give up their fundamental rights in India, at least, isn't it? Promissory
So
estoppel.
free speech is being taken away, sir.
Huh?
Free speech is being taken away, sir, and you're saying nobody can take away your fundamental right. So free
Yes,
speech.
that is how free speech is being taken away. There is no estoppel against the statue. Then the doctrine of promissory estoppel, the leading case of the Supreme Court, देख लेना आप. I don't think, since you are being asked objective question, ये सब लंबा नहीं पूछेंगे आपको. But since you can go through from your book, read the judgment of Motilal Mills case. Motilal Sugar Mills case is a very famous judgment of the Supreme Court dealing with the Sugar Mills case. There are estoppel. There's one Bombay doctrine of legitimate expectation. आपने सुना नहीं? Doctrine of legitimate expectation सुने आपने?
नहीं sir.
अरे क्या है, फर्स्ट ईयर में सुनना मांगता था आपको यहाँ. फर्स्ट ईयर में एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लॉ में पढ़ते हो सब ये. Then the famous judgment, High Tree case, पढ़े आपने नहीं? High Trees case और Lord Denning case on estoppel. नहीं?
So
नेट पे जाके पढ़िए.
we did estoppel in contracts, sir.
पढ़िए, एस्टॉपल इसके अंदर है. नेट के ऊपर जाके चेक करना. हाई ट्री केस, लॉर्ड डेनिंग्स का ब्यूटीफुल जजमेंट है. Then the Supreme Court judgment in the year 1951-52, where against the municipal corporation, which promised to give a land for marketing purposes and take away the land. And then the judgment of the the English court of in High Tree case has been used in that. So provided this, I think objective type question में नहीं पूछेंगे आपको. Don't bother much about it. Okay. Only when you have to come into practice or do LLM, ये सब करना पड़ेगा आपको. Yeah. Next question ले लीजिए. What is admission? What is confession? Explain detail. That is admission is section 17 to 23. पढ़े ना आपने? Then confessions are section 24 से लेकर 31 तक. पढ़ लीजिए आप. That is, I won't giving much detail. ये question हो गया अभी question paper. Okay. What is the time, Ashish?
It's 9:15.
So when do we stop?
So whenever, sir, sir, it's all up to you, sir. We are all ready.
All of you must be tired, na? Shall we take it up tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you must be more tired than us. You have been doing the talking, sir.
In fact, I had taken vaccine day before yesterday. Thoda little fatigue or nothing. There is not much reaction. It
Yes,
was
sir.
nice and cool affair.
So
Okay,
which
Very much,
vaccine
sir.
did you
Take care.
take, sir? Covishield or Covaxin? Which vaccine did you take?
I took Covaxin.
Okay, sir.
Covaxin supposed to be not having after effects.
So Covaxin doesn't have after effects, but you do get slight fatigue, tiredness, little headaches. So,
Nahin,
it would be better if you
Covaxin. No,
rest.
I'm feeling much all right because the doctors themselves told me Covaxin it doesn't have effect, whereas the other vaccine, which is the other one, naam kya hai?
Covishield.
Covishield has certain reactions.
So sorry, sir. Were you on Covaxin or Covishield?
Yeah, Covishield has some after effects, some reactions are there. That
Okay,
is what
sir.
the doctors told me. And those who are wanting to take go for Covaxin. Covaxin is supposed to be good, and I have not felt much difference after 2 days, except nothing. I am able to even speak before you see. Otherwise, there are many people who have taken Covishield. They are still complaining of a headache,